So here we are with the sleigh and the tree, and it's pretty simple. While I was stitching all this, I was kind of thinking, oh boy, I could add this here, and I could do swirls here, and I could do some embroidery on the tree, and you could just go hog wild. So I could spend all day just embellishing this, but I thought I better get back and show you how we're going to finish it up. So I did do a little swirly detail and a little rudder detail. I came in and in my own handwriting, I wrote joy. This is what I'm going to tell you about. If you don't feel comfortable with your handwriting, you can always use a stencil or, trace something that you find online. But I feel pretty strongly about if you want to write a message on something or embroider it, it doesn't matter what your handwriting looks like. I think it's more special if it is your handwriting. So this is my handwriting. I chose the word joy. I thought of some other things like sleigh ride, but I just chose joy so that we could get this done. So you can choose whatever word you want. I would love it if you would use your own handwriting and just use a pencil or some kind of fabric marking pen and write on there and then embroider over it. And this was that really simple back stitch that I did. So, okay, everything's down. I cut my back and my front down to the pillow size was 12 by 16, the pillow form. I started at 14 by 18. I gave myself a couple inches to work with the quilting, and then I cut it down to 13 by 17. So it's an inch all the way around bigger than what the pillow form is. That pillow form is a little squishy. It's not that full. So I might use a more generous seam allowance rather than just a 1/4 inch because I like my pillows to fit tight. But I do want to show you what I did. Instead of using a zipper or some kind of envelope back or any button closure, anything like this, this is just going to be a decorative season pillow. I'm not going to be too concerned if I need to wash it. If something happens to it, I'll just spot clean it. So I'm just going to finish it off on the bottom with something that I call a hidden running stitch. And I'll show you how I do that. I'm sure there's all kinds of different ways to do it, or maybe a proper name for it, but I'll show you how I do it. And if it's done right, the stitches literally disappear. So to make it easier, I'm gonna flip this so you can see it. I'm gonna get ready to stitch my front to my back. So I'm gonna put right sides together and line it up. But can you see that I left it longer on the bottom? That way, when I come in to turn it inside out and fold it, so pretend like this is going to be on the inside. I'm just showing you kind of inside out. When I go to fold it like that, I'm going to have more room to flip this back to stitch that together. So what I'm going to do, I start on the corners and I just leave a little couple inches on each corner and do a little back stitch to keep that stayed, and then go around. I'm going to go all the way around and stitch that, and then I am going to cut off my ends at an angle and flip it inside out. So when we get done stitching this around and turning it inside out, we're going to be pretty close to having a finished pillow. So let's just keep going. Then I'm going to come in and cut those corners off. So we have a nice turn point. We go to turn this inside out. So let's start turning and see how it looks. I have this. Do you have one of those where you can, you know, do a little pressing or a little pointing, pressing and pointing? So I'm just going to use that on the corners here. Push that through. And my quilting marks aren't going to line up. That's okay. It's okay with me. If it's not okay with you on yours, you can spend time trying to match that up, but you know how you match up plaid? Well, I would try to match up a plaid if I had to, but for something like this, I'm not going to. So we're moving right along. This is the part I wanted to show you. I won't make you watch me stuff it unless you want to, but okay, so this end that's going to fold in is a little bit longer in the back because I stitch from the back with the front coming out. I think you see the stitches less, but what I kind of do is get it where it's going to line up. I give it a little press so it's lined up. And then I will struggle, just like you and everyone else does, trying to get the pillow form in and getting it in the way that I want it. And then when I come back, we are going to do that hidden running stitch on the bottom. And look what I have ready. We are going to do tassels on each corner. That's what we're going to do. Okay, I will be back shortly.